It's the views, the booze, the fools. For baby, mommy, and daddy, we got all the tools. Real talk, Marv dropping all the new jewels. Cliff Rock, got it on lock. Open shirt, need a super flirt. Greedy gut, got a strut, still no butt. It's the views from the friend zone. We celebrate like we always in the end zone. Yeah, it's the views from the friend zone. We celebrate like we always in the end zone. Yeah, it's the views from the friend zone. We celebrate like we always in the end zone.
Yeah. Welcome to another edition of Views from the Friend Zone podcast. It's your boy Real Talk Marv. Happy Sunday, y'all. It's glad to be back. We haven't been in the studio for a minute. You know what I'm saying? We got a special guest. We're going to have him introduce himself shortly, man. But how y'all doing out there? You know, it's your boy Real Talk Marv. Who I got to the right of me?
It's your boy Cliff Rockman.
And our guest?
Daquan Allen.
Yes. Shout out to Open Shirt Poppy. He couldn't make it this week, but he'll definitely be here for the next show. So, Mr. Daquan, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you got going on, how people can reach you.
Yeah, my Instagram handle is goodgame_DA. I'm a trainer. I'm trying to change lives, bodies, minds. You feel me? So I love it. So
Nice. And your company name?
Oh yeah, it's All In Fitness.
Yeah, show them a little.
All In Fitness.
That's the logo.
But you gotta be all in. For me.
Yeah.
So
how did you come up with that name?
I mean, my last name is Allen. So it's like I'm just playing around.
Allen, all in, kind of works.
And I'm like, yo, all in, Allen. I'm like, oh, nah, all in. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna mess with that. You feel me? It sound good. Everything just sound right.
Yeah.
And I just went from there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So it fits.
Yeah. So man, I seen a few of your videos. You go real hard. You have the ladies in there. You know what I'm saying? Going hard. Let me ask you a question because, you're a good-looking dude. You're a trainer. You train a lot of women and stuff like that. Like, how do you stay disciplined with that, right? Because there's always memes on these trainers, good-looking trainers, six-packs, and they be practically dry humping your lady when they train them. And it gets the out-of-shape dudes like us kind of tight. So how do you stay professional with that?
I mean, because where I see myself, you know what I'm saying? So, I put myself where I see myself, like, I mean, listen, man, getting a chick is like, it is what it is, but that's not what I'm doing. That's not why I signed up to do this. Like, I actually like doing it because, like, I had went through the struggles of trying to change my body and all this. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I want to help people, give them a little advice, little tips on what I need to do. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Like, I know, I mean, I've heard stories where it's like chicks telling me, like, dudes are trying to come up on them, working out. You feel me? My whole thing is having somebody comfortable. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah.
You get more when people comfortable around you. So it's like, nah, I'm not trying to talk to you, nothing like that. I don't even touch clients or like, yo, I'll be like, yo, listen, I'll show you. I'll do the work. Like, you can ask them. I do the workouts with them.
Yeah.
I show them how I want it done, this, that, the third. But touching and all that extra, you feel me? That's not my, it's not my lane. You feel me?
What separates you from other trainers? Because a lot of times is, right, I work out, but I ain't there with you. I work out for, just basically maintain here or there, whatever, too. And my diet ain't right. So when your diet ain't right, that's half the battle, right? So what separates yourself from other trainers? Because a lot of times I see trainers, they on their phone, they telling the girl, do this, do that, whatever, too. What gave you the passion to say, you know what, this is what I need to focus on, and this is because this is a career goal for you. You're very serious about it.
Yeah, I mean, like, what separates me is, like, honestly, like, the only time I'm on my phone is, like, when I'm changing music. You feel me? Because I want people to get a good vibe when they're working out. I don't want them, you feel me? Whatever you got going outside, get it out here. You feel me? Like, I'm going to put some good music. I asked them, I'm like, yo, listen, like, my gym, if you look at it, it's like, it got different colors and all that. So it's like, I try to put the mood. Like, yo, listen, if you like pink, we go throw on pink. You want to listen to Nicki Minaj or whatever, we go throw that on. Just so you can get that extra push out of yourself. And it's like,
what's the target audience? Like, what who do you really work on? Is it kids? Is it from 10 to 22? Like, what's the age groups?
I mean, it doesn't matter to me. I just really want people to work, but my main audience is women. Like, I've trained some men and all that, and I'm with all work, and I'm appreciative of anybody who support and all that. But the main focus is women. Like, empowering them to get on their shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, because people fall off. You know what I'm saying? Everybody fall off, but it's about, getting back. I feel like that journey is a little better than me.
So, it kind of piggybacks on what I asked earlier. Like, you know, hearing your stance and where you're coming from, like it's a passion, so it allows you to keep professional.
Yeah, fact.
How do you fight off when, like, let's say you have a client who may not want to be that professional, or they start getting flirtatious and things? Have you ever encountered that?
I mean, a little something, but I ain't gonna lie. Like, I just be curving it.
Yeah.
Like, cause it's like you feel me? You got to do more to scratch the surface. Like, what I see for myself and where I feel like I could go, you can't mess this up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, go play around with somebody else, though. I really ain't got that time. Like, you only here for a good 45 hours. Like, I got to go to the next. Like,
yeah.
For me, it's nothing personal. You know what I'm saying?
So you have classes and personal training sessions, right?
Like,
so tell us more about, like, what kind of classes you offer, the location
like,
you have that at.
I did virtual for a little while, but it kind of conflicts sometimes. So I try to do the best I could, you know. But like, I do a class, you know, called Baddie Academy. Like, I bring a DJ, DJ Pro the Prince. You can look him up on IG, and you know, I have like one of my guys who do photography. My boy Mikey, you can look him up. I'll tag him later. Yeah. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the thing. Like,
so it's a whole experience.
It's a whole experience. Like, it's a vibe. Feel me? You come in here, put some music on. You could get ratchet with it. Feel me? You go R&B with it. It is what it is. But we go come in here, turn up, and it's gonna be work though. But you gonna feel good after. Like, it's a little crazy, but it's fun. It's meant to be fun. It's meant for you to move. You know what I'm saying? Movement is medicine. So it's like, I'm providing the source. Like, yo, we gonna dance. Feel me? I tell people, like, yo, just come dance. You feel me? End of the day, it's gonna be dancing. We working out.
And I want to ask you something, because I seen even in your picture, your Instagram, you transformation, your transformation was crazy, because you was a lot more huskier before, and then you leaned in. How did you was able to separate yourself and transform like that? Because that ain't easy to do. That's why most people fail in working out.
Cause for me, I played ball majority of my life, so you know I was Gucci. But now you get older, it's like you ain't on that court no more. You ain't waking up at 5 in the morning doing the workouts no more. Feel me? So it's like you bullshit, you eating Chinese food. You know what I'm saying? And you think you go out train that, but it's like I kind of told myself, like, I ain't gonna lie. When you want more, you do more. So I had to really get rid of.
When you want more, you do more. That's
I had to get rid of a few things. I had to really focus, like change the way I work out. Cause it's like, I go in there, do some basketball, lifts, and it just wasn't working. So I had to. It required me to sacrifice a few things, and you know what I'm saying. And then I just kept going at it.
And then what I also wanted to ask you on a personal level, like, you know, the metabolism slow down when you get older. I played ball too. When you played ball, you ain't got to worry about gaining weight. Now you eat a burger or something that drains sticking, and what you call it, as you get older, you know what I mean. I'm close to I'm in the mid-30s. I'm 36, so I'm close to headed to 40 and whatever. So now some of the stuff you eat, it sticks to you. So what are some of the things you could do on a week-to-week basis to change your body?
Like, what I do is, like,
personal tips from you.
Like, I feel like people just should be moving more. Like, we stay still too much. You know what I'm saying? We too complacent.
Okay.
I mean, that's just my views on things. Like, we sit on the couch all day, and there's nothing wrong with chilling on the couch, but it's like, yo, we got to get shit done. You feel me?
Okay.
End of the day. So it's like, I'm at work, I'm taking all these steps all day, you know. So it's like I'm moving around. So even when I'm not working out, I'm still moving. The goal is to be more active. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I try to get people to do. Like, even if you can't even do this workout, it's like I'm gonna give you something to make you just move. So, you know, I kind of don't restrict people from eating certain things.
Okay.
I give them a certain way to, like, go around it. Like, yo, your favorite meal is a pizza. All right, cool. So I need you to eat right. Drink this, drink water. Do what you got to do. Work out, and then reward yourself. Once you reward yourself, you get back to the regular schedule programming, eating cool. And it's like, I got a meal guide, and I tell people, season your food. Don't go crazy with it, but taste your food. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's certain things. Like, I don't restrict the crazy foods. I just give you other alternatives where you could eat and you could get right. You know what I'm saying? It's about balance. You know what I mean? And moderation.
Okay. So how has it been, navigating through the pandemic as far as being able to train people, especially when New York City shut down? I guess probably you was doing virtual then. Like, how has your business navigated through COVID?
Honestly, I started in March. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I just kept pushing. Like, yo, people see me posting my workout vids, and they was just like, yo, nah, you getting it in, bro. Whatever. You know? Women was like, yo, you human? Is it like, nah, I just love this shit. Like, you feel me? It turned into a love that you can't take from me. And then, like, a part of the journey I tell people is like, yo, listen, man, like, you taking away from loving yourself in a sense. Like, because now you start to see yourself changing. You start to feel good mentally. You know what I'm saying?
Therapeutic.
What,
Definitely
bro?
therapeutic. Yeah.
Crazy, man. This
Yeah.
shit is everything. So it's like you might not love it now, but when you start seeing yourself changing that mirror, people start giving you them compliments. Like the chicks that train me, they be like, "Yo, listen, this dude trying to be on me. He see I'm working out. They ask him, yeah, it feel good though. You ain't even got to entertain it, but
Yeah.
the fact that people throwing it at you in a sense, like they see the
Acknowledge it,
change,
yeah.
you gonna feel good regardless. You feel me? So
Yeah. It's tough, like, because, you know, the pandemic has really changed. Like, I used to love the gym, and then the gym shut down in my condo complex for like 6-7 months because of the pandemic. Then it opened back up. Then it was like restrictions. So like, how do you allow your clients to like continue to stay focused even if they can't physically meet with you? Like, how do you motivate
like,
them?
yo,
What kind of?
what's up? Let's just get on Zoom. Let's get these workouts. Like I be doing Zoom. I used to do Zoom workouts all the time with them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'll get on. I'll tell people like, yo, what up? I'm doing a Zoom class 8 in the morning. What's up? Pull up.
Yeah.
Feel me? And I don't even be charging crazy. It's like, yo, I just like just get this work.
Yeah.
Feel me? So it's like, and then people could just talk to me. I throw on the music from my crib.
Yeah.
And we just work out. You feel me?
Yeah.
So it's like, yo, I mean, you make a way. You feel me? It's like, yo, you could do anything in the crib. Like, you could do shit in the crib. You just grab some equipment if you could. If not,
Yeah.
you find a way. Alternatives. This water bottle. I could probably get busy with the water bottle. You feel me?
Yeah.
It's just movement.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So, like, what is your vision and your goals for your business in the next year?
I mean, that's honestly a good question, you know. But you know, I try not to think about it because I don't want to put no negatives in my mind. I just try to keep pushing forward. But you know, I want my own gym. You know what I'm saying? I want my own vibe. You know, DJ, juice bar, everything in it. Where it's like you ain't gotta go nowhere. Like you come in here like it's church. You know what I'm saying? You gonna feel good. You gonna look good. You gonna go about your day. You know what I'm saying? But you know when you come in, you go all in. You gonna be all in. You know what I'm saying? So that's just where I see myself. You know what I'm saying? That people could just talk to. You know what I mean? Like I'm cool. Like. And that's another thing. Like I ain't trying to talk to these chicks, but they could come talk to me though. Not even on that level, but like you could come tell me shit because I don't judge. You know what I'm saying? Like yo, I talk you through it. Like I done talked to a few people like trying to give up on themselves on situations, and I'm just like, nah, yo, like for me, it happens for a reason. You feel me? You find a way.
Yeah,
so,
That's good. That's good energy.
that's what's up. So
Yeah,
that's good. Once again, Daquan, let them know your IG handle, like what you got going on next, and you know how they can reach out to you.
Well, you know, I'm still doing personal training right now. My IG is goodgame_DA. So, I mean, honestly, right now, you know, I'm right now trying to do this program. So it's like you could do it from home or gym. And it's like I'm going to try to do like a 30-day challenge. So it's like I provide the workouts. I give you the meal guide.
Yeah.
You know, give you some tips on food and what you could be juicing with and this, that, the third.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Complex carbs and what you could eat, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I provide the workouts, probably 5-6 workouts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And, you know, you do that. You can even add some cardio on it on days. Like, even if you want to work out 3 times a week.
Yeah.
I provided enough workouts on there for you to do. Feel me? Even if you don't do everything, you doing something, at least do that 2-3 times. You'll get a good workout in.
Yeah.
Give me at least 30
Yeah.
minutes, you'll be good. And it's like whoever get the best transformation after I put out the program, I'm going to give a cash prize.
Nice.
Okay, that's good.
It also sounds like because you have a photographer connection that you should like on demand some of your videos and maybe develop an app.
Yeah, I
You know
know.
what I'm
Yo, honestly, it's crazy because I've seen somebody who trains people and he has an app and I'm like, damn, like I gotta step my shit up though. You know what I'm saying? But again, I'm doing this by myself, you know, and I've had people help me, but not in that kind of lane though. So like I'm all for the help. Like I ask people questions. Like I ain't big enough to ask no questions. Like you got some people who feel like they know everything. Nah, I want to know. So teach me, let me know. Even being here, for me, I feel like it's a blessing. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I appreciate y'all. Even
no doubt, no doubt.
No.
We love people who trying to do their own thing. You know what I'm saying? We try to navigate. We have victories. We have setbacks, and we always try to deal with like-minded people to see how we could push it forward. That's when I thought about them. Just like your energy and stuff like that. If you could have your videos on demand and stuff like that, and that'd be a revenue source for you.
I'm working on it,
well.
but you know, you're talking about victories. Like my slogan is actually small victories.
Yeah.
So it's like. It's not even just with workouts. It's just like period. Like we tend to forget like yo, we was once somewhere else. Like, feel me? You was working at McDonald's last year. Now you working, feel me, corporate or whatever.
100%.
Feel me? So those are small victories. Like those are things that we tend to not forget. Like last year you was on the train. This year you got a car. It's a hoopty or not, but you ain't on the train. You know what I'm saying?
That's
So
a
it's
fact,
like
yeah.
with workouts, like yo, the goal was to lose 10 pounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
We lost 7. So it's like, yo, you still did something.
Yeah.
So it's like people get down on themselves. It's like, yo, my nigga, you really out here working. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You doing the best you could. That's all effort. You feel me? So
He also got some great merch. I wear him on
Yeah, I was
vacation
gonna
all
say,
the
'cause-
time.
yeah, I got
His merch.
I got a few people that purchased some hoodies pre-order. You know, they on their way.
The
Sorry for
the
patience.
shorts,
I mean,
the
sorry
shorts
for
and
the
shirts,
wait.
the good
Yeah.
workout sets. He got it for the females. I wear him
So
on vacation.
will they hit you also on your
Tom.
IG for the merch, or is there like a separate way to get the merch?
Yeah, you hit me up on IG for the merch. Like again, I'm trying to figure out the internet thing and all that and get my page right, but I'll handle that though. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, I'm from the bottom with this. So
Yeah, that's good. That's what's up. So, all right, we're gonna get into the regular schedule show. We're gonna discuss some topics as always. We try to speak about current events. I want to take a real quick moment to say a moment of silence. Happy birthday to my good friend in heaven, who passed away a very tragic way. He passed away a couple years ago. He was brutally murdered out in Nebraska with his then fiance. It's a crazy story, but happy heavenly birthday to my boy Daniel Murray. I'm saying rest in peace. I'm always gonna celebrate your birthday every year. You would have been 39 like myself. So
It's crazy.
may God continue to watch over your family, especially your moms who's still hasn't. Like obviously no one's over it, but it still hits her really hard. So rest in peace to Daniel Murray, and we love you. You'll always be in our hearts and our spirits. You know what I'm saying? All right, so I want to get to the show. I want to talk about, it's crazy. I probably like maybe 4 or 5 times this year, or maybe every other episode, Will Smith and Jada always comes up with the polyamorous and the cheating. And, for a long time, that was just the model to us of like open relationships and people not sweating the small stuff. But like, it just feels like Jada just keeps doing shit that makes Will look crazy. Like Will's still the guy, Will's still the dude, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I don't care how open the red table talks are and stuff like that. She's making Will look crazy out here.
Like a clown.
I feel like I feel like man, it's like he allowing certain things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like some relationships is like whoever do somebody dirty is like you kind of got to take more hits in a sense.
Yeah.
So he, who knows? Feel me? Who knows? But I ain't gonna lie. I'm really not jagging how she moving though, cause it's like
that's the thing, right? Because we know
you're moving too dusty right now.
Exactly. Like allegedly, we never know the details, right? There wasn't like a contract they put out. We knew that Will was supposed to be moving out in these industry streets, and then so Jada was supposed to be as well. But it just seemed like Jada shit is just so sloppy, and it's not. A lot of people are gonna say, "Oh, y'all men, y'all just taking up different sides."
She moving like a dude though. Like
she's moving, but she's. But the thing about it is, what makes it worse is Jada's whole new brand is her red table talk, transparency, and owning up to shit. And her shit is just looking crazy out here.
All right, but think about it. Look at it. Like no disrespect. Look at Kevin Hart. Like anything that happened in his life, he make a comedy special over it.
Yeah.
So it's like. People love the truth, you know what I'm saying? People want to hear that because it's like, yo, I ain't know that, but now I know that, yo, that's crazy, and they just speculate.
It sounds like she got some secrets that she can release right now, and he's just riding the wave. Yeah,
she been waiting for this.
He's just riding the wave because I don't see the structure of the relationship the way it just changed so drastically.
I actually have a question that's geared towards what you're saying, so hold that thought because I want to get deeper into that.
Okay.
But let me introduce the greater topic. Will and Jada is just an example of like how, the quote-unquote polyamorous lifestyle that, people who are like, in tune and say that, they don't have a jealous bone in their body and things of that nature. People always say that they could engage in a polyamorous relationship, but then there's always stipulations, especially black men. Black men who say they polyamorous usually like, yeah, my wife could bring a girl home with us. You know what I'm saying? It's never a dude could come through and we tag team the wifey and shit like that. I mean, there's probably dudes out there, but the majority of dudes I speak to, and as soon as you say that, they face tense up like they want to fight you. Like, dude, it's a question. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? So the first question is polyamory versus traditional cheating, right? Because polyamorous is when y'all both agree y'all could bring people into the relationship. both the man and the woman's are allowed to bring some in the relationship. And y'all know traditional cheating is just traditional cheating where, you do whatever you got to do and don't get caught. You know what I'm saying? So the question is, can it work? You know what I'm saying? Can polyamorous relationships truly work where it's just like both men and women are free to do what they do and people still have the same level of care and love for each other, right? Because people always say, I'm open to it, yeah, this and another, but I always hear women who say it or the women who do it and have regrets. It's always just like, I did it to make him happy. It's not necessarily what I wanted, or he wouldn't bring a dude into the situation, you know what I'm saying? And the irony of it is the women who have men who will do it, they look at their men as suspect. Like, why you gonna let another dude come through and smash me in our home? You know what I'm saying? So what are your thoughts?
I mean, the poly thing is like, we got a lot of insecure dudes out here and women. You know what I'm saying? Insecurity kills. Mm-hmm. So it's like people could talk all that talk because it sound good, but people be frying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you're shorty, you about to let her go out. Don't get me wrong. There's times where there's probably some people out here who could do that. You feel me? Like.
In terms of your situation, can you handle that? Is that something that you would be open to do?
I really feel like that's between the two people. You feel me?
Okay.
The situation, like you can have love for somebody and y'all both do your thing and y'all just kick it and do your thing. But I feel like that's a conversation that got to be had in the beginning. Like, yo, this is what we doing. Like,
yeah.
But it's like, somebody go fuck it up. You feel me? Whether it's a dude or a female, because it's like, yo, you told me we was linking Tuesday. Oh, nah, I was with her though. So it's like now you messing up the program.
Yeah.
Yo. Yeah, I just feel like these dudes nowadays, man, they be doing shit bad. You feel me? Like, it's not even the women no more to me. Like, the women, they done had their turn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For the past couple of years. It's the dudes now. These dudes be moving stupid.
That's good insight. But I think it's definitely a level of communication of what you call it. Yeah, because it's like sometimes you're in a relationship. And girls feel the same way. They don't want to. They want to explore, right?
Dudes,
so they hold on.
Dudes don't understand. Like, think about it. You got your girl fire. She beautiful. This, that, the third. Got it going on in her own right, or whatever. Mm-hmm. You gotta understand. Some of these chicks, they don't need you. You feel me? So it's like, all right, they fuck with you because they fuck with you. So it's now you gonna go fuck that up being a bozo. And it's like you don't understand. Some chicks be having them thoughts too. The same thoughts we have. Like, yo, that nigga might be cute. He this, he that. Yeah. So it's like, bro, you gotta. I feel like everybody gotta play their role though. You know what I'm saying? Like, chicks really we want to be out here too, but we in a double standard type of world. So it's like they don't want to look crazy, but I ain't gonna lie, they be want to give it up. You know what I'm saying? They be want to give it up. Like,
it's facts. Sometimes women's sex drive even be crazier than men. So there's no way that we out here thinking, man, I want to smash and conquer so many different things. And a woman's just fine with a couple of strokes you giving her, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? Just variety's the spice of life. Variety's the spice of life. You know what I'm saying? So especially when people been in a relationship a long time. So my question is, can it work, or should traditional cheating be conducted on a don't get caught basis? Right?
I think it could work if the communication is right. If you would listen, if you were somebody that told you, but that's a discussion you gotta have early in the relationship. You can't just midway say, like, you know what, maybe we should explore just bring other people in the relationship.
Now it's like, yo, we've been together for this.
We've been together for you can't be 20 years in and say now you want to explore what you call it, boom. Yeah. If you had that from the first, I think this level of conversation should be early in the relationship.
But you know what
that's my opinion.
You know what it is though? Like, a lot of people understand, like, dudes especially, no dirt, or women, they gonna do enough just to keep you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, yeah, everything will be said in the beginning, everything will be good, but you're not really saying what you really want. So now it's like, I'm based to move off what I think we want for each other type shit. Yeah. So it's like, yo, she thinking y'all cool, but it's like, you want to dip, she want to dip. But it's like, yo, that shit could have been nipped in the bud if y'all both was like, yo, listen, like, I ain't gonna front, sometimes I want to. Yeah. And she be like, yo, sometimes I want to. So it's like, all right, we fuck with each other and we let each other know, like, yo, when we want that dip. And it's like that, and that communication alone could have them together for some years. You feel me? Versus,
I to be honest with you, the polyamorous thing, I feel like it was a movement of people who were trying to say that they're woke and they're open minded, but to me it don't work. I feel like, yo, traditional cheating with the, like, yo, just don't get caught shit. It sounds stupid, but that's what's been going on since the beginning of time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Just don't move out here sloppy, because this is the thing. Any man who says he's open to it, right? Or I'm open to polyamorous, I'm man enough to know. As soon as they hear their lady make a noise that he ain't make her make, their ego can't hold on to it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
that's right.
Or if you're in a situation where you hear her doing something for a dude that she says she don't like no more. Oh, so you don't like it with me no more, but you did it with this dude. You know what I'm saying? I don't think men egos are built for the polyamorous thing.
Yeah.
Especially when you open it to both sides. All men's like, yeah, my chick, my lady likes women too, so we good. Yeah, and don't get it twisted. There are women out there who are bisexual and who are really open to it, but I feel like a lot of times women are just like, yo, if we're gonna open up this relationship, we gotta open it up all the way. And I don't think men are built for that.
Nah, some dudes ain't built for it. Like,
I don't know.
I mean, I feel like a dude will only be built for it depending on the money he got in the bank account. Cause it's like you kind of can handle it. Like, yo, it is what it is. Like, I'm on top regardless. Like, I'm good money. Like, you just gotta do what you gotta do. But it's like,
but
some dudes,
I think you could do
stomach-
that. You could have a relationship like that. I don't think that could be your wife, the mother of your kids.
No.
You know what I'm saying? That you do that with.
That's more something that you went into the situation knowing that you're just you're just gonna have fun.
Yeah.
If it's somebody serious and you want
But think about it,
a stable home,
But think about it, is that fair though? Because like
It ain't fair, but
listen, we could be with a girl who's like she's stable, she this, whatever. I mean, the other
Yeah.
girl you having fun with, she can be stable and all that too. But it's like, let's be real, like we be in relationships and it's like it kind of don't serve us because we really want to turn up and have fun sometimes, and then we come home or wherever we gotta be, and it's like it's just flatline. It's
Right.
like you feel me? I want to have fun too. So it's like, is that really fair? You know what I mean?
it's not fair. And a lot of times, it's like I said with the whole relationships, it's about communication. I don't think honestly, from me speaking, I wouldn't be able to handle it because I don't want to go back and forth to know that. Oh, okay, now, because it's not a one-way street. It's not like I could just bring, I'm gonna bring Shorty into bring Shorty into the relationship,
Crazy though?
and then she'd be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna bring my boots in too. You like,
What's crazy is because like
it's gonna be weird.
dudes can do a lot that they can't stomach. You feel me?
exactly.
fact.
Because
Yeah.
like once it's done to them, it's like they get hit in their chest, bro. They be like, yo, like, word, you was moving with this dude, whatever. But it's like, you're fan. You kind of was violating her for a while now. You feel me? She just said what up to the nigga, and now you feeling the way. Like, you feel me? It don't
Like
even-
imagine
it
a
don't
nigga
even
coming
be
into your
nothing.
crib like, yo, pardon fam. You coming to your crib to come pick up your lady, he telling you pardon fam, shit like that, and she laughing while getting niggas ain't built for that, yo.
Yeah,
Nah.
it's nah.
I mean,
Nobody is.
Dudes is trying to Peter roll niggas off that. Like,
Nah, it's
So
just
the only way I can see a dude doing it and not spazzing out is if he's having performance issues and he feel like fuck it, you know what I'm saying? I want my woman to stay with me. She got to get something
Yeah.
in. But even
Nah,
then,
that's unfortunate.
that's the last resort for a dude
feel
because
like-
a dude pride can't stand up to
It's
that.
crazy. I feel like a lot of times, like, you can have like a boss chick, you feel me? She independent and all that, but it's like, you gotta understand these women, they still want some love, they want a little attention. So it's like, bro, you doing them a disservice by fucking with them, but not really fucking with them. Like,
Yeah.
you still gotta court your lady. Like, we
Facts.
all learn, we men, we learn off our fuck ups. But it's like, yo, if you really want something, you gotta do something different. Like, you really gotta court the women, for me, let them feel good about themselves, because whatever you put into her, she will get back to you in a sense.
Yeah.
So it's like, yo, even I'm still learning that shit, but it's like, I feel like a lot of times, like, we gotta boss up and do what we gotta do, and it's like, you got some women that play around, but it's like, yo, if you that type of dude where you feel like you high value, it's like, you feel me, you're not gonna let nobody play with you. It's a boundary that they gotta cross to get there, so you won't even allow them to do it anyway.
Before I would even consider a polyamorous situation, I would tell my lady, look, do what you got to do. Just don't get caught. You know what I'm saying? Don't be out here stupid. Don't make me have to, run up on somebody.
not even that. Like, that's why, like, the whole Jada and Will Smith, not to bring them back in situations, like, she's embarrassing him. Like, you know what I mean? She's embarrassing him. I think like it's regardless of what. Suppose they had an open marriage for years, and they were doing that, right?
Yeah.
For years. But now it's a level of like you're embarrassed. I don't know. I think most men can't handle it.
Yeah.
Women,
and
I think
especially when your man for years was the #1 blockbuster dude, grade A
Yeah,
dude, and you
of
out here
course.
making him look like,
Embarrassing them like that?
you know what I'm saying? So
A little fish.
you know what I'm saying? And the crazy thing about it is, Jada's a star in her own right, but Jada was never on Will Smith level.
At all.
You know what I'm saying? Not to
At
be
all.
rude,
Nah,
let's
nah,
keep
nah,
it
nah,
a
but
buck.
That's facts.
Let's
though.
keep it a
Yeah.
buck.
Facts,
you know what I'm
though.
saying? So
Yeah.
it's sort of like, you know.
moves like him, but yeah.
So it's just like, yo, like
she feel like it's her turn.
on the strength of the team brand.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's certain things like you don't really necessarily say. Like even as bad as you know, Beyonce could have dragged Jay and made Jay look crazy.
She ain't even do that.
She ain't even do that.
Be-
And Beyonce was bigger than Jay.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And to be her, it's just like, yo, not to say that some people will be like, oh, everybody react how they do and stuff like that. Like my thing about it is just like the way Jada's moving, the consistency of it. I get we're trying to be open-minded and women do their thing too, but it's just like, yo, there's got to be some kind of rules where it's just like you protect the brand of your husband. You protect the image of your husband. You know what I'm saying? Like even the August Alsina shit is old, but you got to think about it. That's your son's friend.
Yeah,
Like think about it. Think about it. The shoes on the other foot, and Will was smashing one of Willow's friends. We would say that Will was a creep.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We would borderline call him a pedophile. You know what I'm saying? Even if she was of age, we'd be like, yo, Shorty grew up with your daughter. You know what I'm saying? Shorty rocking with your daughter. You look crazy out here.
Yeah.
It's crazy because a lot of women, they be applauding it like, yeah, go ahead, girl, do your thing. But it's like, if a dude do that, it's like, yo, you foul, you nasty. You know, man.
I think the whole situation is borderline disgusting. Like, and I think she got some dirty secrets on Will. And Will's just like, you know what? I don't want him to come out. Yeah.
My boy crying, going through his little mental health phases right now.
Yeah,
He
so-
jumping on planes.
So the people, let me ask y'all this. So the people who do subscribe to the polyamorous relationship, like, what do you think is their frame of thinking?
I feel like you got to be like super open. Like you can't even come into a closed mind one bit. Feel me? You got to be open to how they actually feel. But I ain't gonna lie though. Like I spoke to somebody who's into that, and it's like they kind of was at a standpoint where it's like that third person, whoever that is, that's like they mediator in a sense. You know, that's what they told me like with their situation.
Yeah.
That's their mediator where it's like they could be butting heads and it's like they come in on something like, yo, listen man, what we doing here? Like boom boom boom, let's settle it out. And they do what they do, you feel me? So it's like I feel like it depends on the dynamic of the people, you feel me? It's really the person. Like you can't come into a closed mind. It's like really open where y'all just gotta talk. Y'all have y'all sit down, you feel me? Y'all really do shit together where it's like y'all learning. We don't even learn our people like we should though, you feel me?
Yeah.
We just be like, nah, she cute. She all right,
because in relationships, our job in both parties is to protect each other. If you really said everything you wanted to say to your significant other, you know you wouldn't be in a relationship.
Fat boy be in the doghouse.
You know you wouldn't
Like,
be in a
really go-
relationship.
You really
So
want
a
to
lot
say
of
some.
times,
You really want to say some shit though, but you feel
a
like
lot
you
of
can't 'cause
time,
it's like,
a lot of times relationships, we hide and protect each other because that's standard. So you have to. A lot of times, I think that people that does that kind of relationship, they already experienced that, and they got to a point where they're like, you know what, this is what works for me, because I'm tired of. Even in your relationship now, whether you're in a relationship now or you're talking to somebody serious or whatever, or quote unquote, if you're playboy, you don't tell them certain things because you want to protect them,
Yeah.
right? So
I just think the polyamorous
Yeah, but
situation, it's never going to be equal equity because just the way that society's set up, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like
society
dudes,
set it up with.
dudes is not letting another dude openly like coming in and out of his house, openly like, you know,
Like,
deal
yo,
with
what up,
his
bro? You
lady
good?
the same
I just
way.
finished up, like.
You know what I'm saying?
What you mean,
Like because the way Jada said it in the beginning, before we got a little more detail, Jada was just like, yeah, Will knew Will was cool with dude, and that's what made Will look crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo,
Nah,
like,
he was cool with him, but he didn't know he was plugging you. Like,
exactly. You know what I'm saying? So it's
I
just,
didn't know he was digging. Like he was digging you out. Like,
you know what I'm
that
saying?
is the album of you.
Yo, he did the mix. She did the make me feel good like Holly Berry Monster Boy with
Boys
Young
kinda
Boy,
shit, yeah.
and then you made it seem like Will was just giving that nigga that after he was finished type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Boomerang.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. To me, the polyamorous thing, it's a level of maturity that to me, I don't think I've ever evolved to. You know what I'm saying? Or just it's just not built for me.
Yeah,
And-
it's gonna be too many times you probably feel away, and it's like you probably can't even say nothing because
It just if you enter that and you accept that, what you call, you have to have a strong mind to do that.
Yeah.
Because the fact that you're literally letting somebody else come and basically come in and out of your relationship where you think you build some. It's like, what do you build after that? Because now everything, it went from you to now you sharing it with somebody else, and he can actually take it from you away because it's new energy. New energy is always the best.
I think relationships could go through a polyamorous phase.
Yeah,
new point guard coming.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't think any relationship that's built on a long term, like we're spending life together kind of thing. Like you could have polyamorous moments, but I don't think you could have an official relationship that's polyamorous where it's just like y'all consistently both have alternate partners. There's like what are we doing here? You know what I'm saying?
There's people that do it though, bro. Don't get it twisted, bro. It's out here.
Yeah. Do you think so? The people that's doing it is like within our culture.
I don't even think it's kind of within our culture in the sense. I'm gonna keep it real with you.
Yeah, because like we grew up with just like people knowing that grandpa had chicks around town and shit like that, and grandma ignored that shit.
You live in a different world, like back in the times, like grandma was shutting up. She was making sure the crib was good.
Yeah,
you feel me? And it's like grandpa was doing what he do, but he came home, made sure shit was good. I'm not saying it was right, but it's like, yo.
But nowadays, women making more bread than dudes.
Yeah, women.
So it's not even close to where it's just like a woman needs your bread. Sometimes women look at your bread and laugh at that shit.
If you look at the statistics, bro, women is the breadwinners, bro. Like,
yeah.
they're the number one consumers in this world. I mean, if you look at TV, bro, it ain't how Robert got his groove back. It's Stella. You feel me? Like everything is catered to the women. Like they out here really getting to it. Like
that's a
you know what I'm saying? Like I like majority of like people who train me as women. I let them know like, yo, bro, like you doing this shit. You feel me? Like what's stopping you? You feel me? You already did this. You accomplished this. This is just what's in your way right now. Like women out here getting to the bag though. Like
big time.
Feel me? I was dating a chick who was getting a bigger bag than me though. Feel me? But it wasn't even about the bread though.
Yeah.
I feel like we fuck up a lot of shit by not communicating the right way.
Yeah.
Like dudes, we told not to really speak how we feel and all that because we be vulnerable or whatever. But it's like, yo, bro, like you probably could clear up a lot of shit and have more clarity on things. Feel me? When you just speak up and keep it real, like people don't know being yourself will get you further than fronting. Like,
but
ain't no future in that.
A relationship, honestly, is only really based on 80% of the truth. It's 20%.
That's a whole nother show, bro. To feel like relationships is based on 80%.
Yeah, 20% of you,
20% is truth. 80% is facade. 80% is cap.
And you know why? Because listen, you know why? Because standard society says you need to protect that person. You need to protect what you got going on, or it's not gonna go on. That's just how it is.
Wow, that's tough.
That's just how it is.
And you know, there's elements of truth to what you're saying. That's just a tough to really think about. 80% relationships are based off a cat, and only 20% is the truth.
Yeah.
I would hope that it's the other way around. 80% is the truth, and that 20% is just.
I'm trying to tell you,
bro. If you really think about it, though, it's like, bro, listen, we got IG, all these social
like,
people even getting fake relationships just the look of it. You know what I'm saying?
The standard,
and it's like y'all probably fighting behind closed doors type shit. Like, come on, bro.
Like to me right now, I hate to keep bringing it to like to me. I just feel like Will Smith and Jada relationship is just for fucking show at this point. And I just feel like shit is just bubbling to the top right now.
Yeah, but standard now, like, you know.
I don't even know why boy holding on so long. Like,
there's a secret
really that illegal. No, she got something.
She got something on him. For her to have that, for her to be this bold after all these years, and just she's basically saying, "Listen, man."
And the Tupac shit keep coming up and shit like that. Yo, it's crazy.
And then you assaulting my man pipe game for the public. Don't do that. Don't do that. If he got,
I ain't gonna lie, y'all both like 50. Like, how much y'all trying to do though? Like, stop fronting out here. Like, your shit ain't even dripping like probably it used to. But he not out here complaining though.
Yeah, he would never embarrass you, but you out here embarrassing this man whole legacy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. When you looked at Will Smith, you looked at a black powerful man. Somebody you say, you know what? I want my son to be like Will. Will did it right. Now you looking at Will like, damn, who's running this relationship? You know what I'm saying? So
I feel like somebody like, yo, puff out your chest, Will. You Will fucking Smith. You know what I mean? You still Will Smith.
Doing it like, yo, this Will, like, bro, what's up with you? Like,
you know what I'm saying? Like people's like city boys are down bad the way Will looking right now. You know what I'm saying? Down 100. You know what I'm saying? And that's the crazy thing about it. And you know what? Don't get it twisted. Anybody who's in a long-term relationship, anybody who's been married and stuff, like I've been married for 12 years and stuff like that. Like, you know, a lot of times especially when you want a peaceful, happy home, you let your woman kind of like, call a shot and
Let
stuff
her
like
lead in
that.
a sense.
You let her lead in a lot of things. When something don't sit right in your spirit, you draw the line, and a good woman be like, you know what, my man, don't give me problems about a lot of this. This is where you draw the line.
Let me
let
fall
me
back.
fall back.
Yeah,
Let me
yeah,
fall
yeah,
back.
facts.
This,
That's what it
I need to hear Will had that conversation with Jada about this because this is looking crazy right now.
Listen, what I'm just saying. Once he did the whole, when she admitted that she cheated with August Alsina, I knew it was done down here from there.
No, but
it was just but because listen, the problem is they were supposed to have a quote unquote open relationship for years, right? And now it's like she's like, I'm letting it all out. She has a secret on Will, and when it comes out, it's gonna be bad. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Man, I don't know. I think relationships is like I said, like a lot of time we do enough to protect our partner. If we honestly told our partner every day what we thought in a relationship, a lot of people want to be in a relationship, and they don't last longer. Old school relationships, people used to stay for 30 years. Now it's like after 6 months to a year with social media, you're like, I'm good. You could be in a whole nother relationship a month later.
yeah,
And you was with your person, you was with your partner for 20 years, and the next month you could be in a whole nother relationship.
some people be married within the year. I forgot where I read it. There's a study that a lot of people who get divorced are married again within a whole year.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie though. You gotta
Sometimes you pre-recruiting, and sometimes you just like, yo, you know what you want, and this person fits the knot, and you ready to be back in a situation.
Nah, but look, you gotta understand, like, nowadays it's like it's a lot of things that we get in relationships that really don't serve us. Like the whole time you dealing with somebody, male or female, whatever the case may be, it's like you telling yourself no and you telling them yes. It's like you kind of taking away from yourself in a sense. Like people don't want to feel like they taking too much out of themselves to pour into you. You feel me?
Yeah.
They got to be both ways. Like if you pour, I pour. You feel me? So it's like
The biggest thing I learned as a married man was just like, yo, at the end of the day, you responsible for your own happiness.
He say every Sunday when we work, he said that all the time.
You responsible for your
all the time,
See,
bro.
I never had that conversation with you,
bro,
but
I
I
ain't gonna lie,
respect
I'm
that.
big on
You
that, bro.
responsible for your
big on that, bro.
own
Like,
happiness.
Yeah, right.
If you think because Shorty's so bad on IG and you get with her and it's gonna make you happy, false, bro. You got to be happy first, and
Look,
then you got to bring the
you tryna-
happiness to your partner. You know what I'm saying? And vice versa. You got to see if they can live with your happiness and then also add to it. But you can't make them the sole reason for why you being happy.
But the goal is to advance though. But it's like, yo, bro, listen. Some people grow apart. I mean, you could be together for years, but you grow apart, bro, because y'all got two different viewpoints. Y'all can't come to a common ground or page where y'all just meet.
Yeah.
So it's like, yo, listen, man. I don't care who you are. If you over there, I want you over there happy. I'm over here happy. When we link up, we both happy. But it's like, if you unhappy, now you put that negative energy on me. I got to figure out what's going on and come up with these solutions to try to help you be happy when it's like, yo, fam. At this point, I feel like, yo, this whole world is just taking a note of certain things. Like, yo, bro, you got to be happy on your own. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not about to sit here and serve you, deal with them demons, male or female, whoever you are. Like,
Yeah.
But you got to be happy on your own because at the end of the day, when you go home, I don't care if you live with something, you got to look at yourself in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fact.
So it's like, yo, bro, you gotta be happy, bro. Without, like, yeah, you can have your little bad days, but it's like every day, fam. You got kick out of that.
Yeah. Another thing is just like there's so much outside in the world that's trying to attack you, that's trying to take your spirit, that's trying to not let you survive. If you got to deal with all that shit on the outside and then you come home and have to deal with a whole nother, like you said, 80%. Yo, if you got to be 80% fake at home, what the fuck is the point? Where do you go to find peace? That should fuck me up. You saying that? Because I never thought about that. But like,
I'm saying that, you tell your wife this. You tell your wife, we both married, man, or what you call it. You tell your wife this. That shit you cook, I don't like that shit. Stop cooking it. Yo, that dress you wore, it ain't it for you. Yo, you gaining what you have. If you told the truth of everything that you didn't like about your significant other,
that's little white lies, though.
No, what I'm saying is in general. Or you could be like, yo, you know what? I do get tempted by other women, looking at other women, or whatever. If she told you, I do like to look at other men, whatever. So all relationships are built on protecting each other. Real talk.
I mean, there's certain things. There's a difference between, right? There's certain things implied that we just don't express, right? So for instance, if my wife thinks that I've never looked at another woman sexually, like, damn, she look good and stuff like that ever since we've been together, and I think the same thing as her, like, I'm lying to myself, she's lying to herself. But there's certain things you don't outwardly do, you don't outwardly say kind of thing.
But
I don't think that's a lie. That's more so it's just like out of respect, you don't kind of say those things.
Yeah, it's boundaries, but sometimes in a relationship the boundaries go too far and then you can't even express yourself.
It's like you caged in a sense. It's like, yo, damn, bro, like I mean, listen, bro, we men. It's like sometimes we go have a look.
Yeah.
Man, I ain't gonna lie. It's times where like I probably been with a chick and it's like, shit, look with me. Like you look first, then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, yo, bro, it's just a look. Like I'm right here with you, we having a good time and all that. But it's like, I mean, I can understand it. You know, I'm older and all that. But it's like, we men, bro. It's like even women, they want to look too.
They want to look too.
So I mean, it's like, don't even think that these women don't want to be out here moving like dudes. I
They
mean,
want to look.
some of them out here moving more dangerous than some dudes.
Hell yeah.
I ain't gonna hold you like.
With the
Like, I got a lot of
because
homegirls,
women
like,
are
they
so
telling me
calculating that they could do it
Bro.
crazy. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, wizards, bro. You feel me? They make it happen, bro. I ain't gonna lie to
So
you.
I never
And they do it effortless, like, and it'd be hard for us. It's like, we taking
a
calculus,
woman will have you giving a pound to a dude that's smashing her,
that shit, bro.
and you won't even think twice about it.
I've been there.
Like you know what I'm saying? Like I've been in situations because me being a big dude, like dudes be like, oh, he ain't. That's just her friend. He ain't doing nothing. And shit. Keep thinking.
Facts.
That's how you want to think.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, it's sort of like, you know, woman will move in such a way where it's just like, oh, he's harmless kind of thing like that, and then really will convince you like that. You know what I mean? But dude,
Maybe throw them little spells on you, know. Like, I mean, yo, listen. Shout out to them, though. Like, they know what to do.
Yeah.
That's why they kind of know what some dudes do, because they know how to do it, too.
Yeah, it's a fact.
it's a fact. So let me ask this question, right? Having your cake and eating it too. Men are okay with bringing in another woman into the fold, but never another man. Is poly just a compromise to serve a man's ego and for the woman to save face? I feel like a lot of times, a lot of these women who are in poly situations, they're doing it because they want to make their man happy. Yeah. And they, you know what I'm saying? Because they want to be like, oh, cause I always tell women this. I always feel like a lot of women have a pinch of bisexuality in them. You know what I'm saying? Because a woman's body's beautiful. It's universal. Like even gay dudes will be like, damn, women bodies are so fine and beautiful. They don't want nothing to do with it. Yeah. But you recognize that.
Homegirls looking at their body, yo, homegirls, yeah, they
exactly.
They nudes and all that. Like,
they be playing with each other's titties and doing smack each other's butts openly, right? Because sexuality works that way for a woman to be able to look at another woman. So I get that. But I feel like, you know, sometimes women will be full bringing in other women to the fold, having threesomes to make their guy happy, even if, you know, it's not really what they want to do, but a guy's not doing that if he's not into that kind of situation. So do you think the polyamorous situation, still on that topic, do you think a good portion of women do it just to, like, you know,
I believe
keep their relationship happy, try to do it in the name of keeping this spicy kind of thing instead of losing their man?
Bro, like, we live in a new world, bro. Like I've had somebody tell me, right?
There you go.
I've had somebody tell me, like, they wanted to watch they dude have sex with another chick. Like, they just wanted that. She didn't want to be a part of it. She didn't have to, but she would have if she wanted to. But it's like, yo, you just never know how the game will go nowadays. But I feel like majority of it is to kind of like stroke the man's ego in a sense, like make him feel good about it, or the women just doing it just to keep the dude because he probably threw that out there and she's like, yo, all right, I'm not gonna play with him. Feel me? So I'm gonna do it. Now you out here looking crazy.
But what about if women ask the man to do it?
Dude's not even gonna jack that, and they gonna feel some type of way. They probably gonna feel worse than a woman.
If a dude jack that, he can't. I don't want to put nobody in the box, but a lot of times, if a dude jack another dude coming through, he probably want to partake with that dude. That's part of his repertoire.
Not even to the extent like that. I just feel like he probably got other work on the side too. Like,
even if dudes got other work on the side, a dude is not accepting another dude coming through like that unless if that other dude is taking care of all of y'all. He's taking care of all of y'all, or his meat don't work. That's the only two ways. That's the only two ways. You know. That's the only two ways he feel like, damn, my meat ain't working. What I gotta do?
No bullshit. Like, I feel like that's a topic where it's like, dudes gotta step their shit up. Like I feel like a lot of dudes just ain't serving it like they supposed to.
Yeah,
and that's just they got these women in an uproar. Like you can't even get it up, bro. Like you talking all that shit, you can't do nothing about it. Like this shit ain't even shooting. Like,
but not even that. Like a situation like that, when you physically checked out with somebody. That happens to you
mentally.
What
about mentally?
That's what I'm saying.
Mentally,
checked out. Well, if you checked out with somebody sometime,
you mentally checked out, boy,
and you like, hold on, that ain't even a concern that you thinking about because you like, hold on, this person doesn't stimulate me at all anymore. So that's why.
I mean, it sounds crazy, but
that's why sometimes a situation that's how third parties became about because the woman, no disrespect to, I won't be sexist just on a woman. A woman was having sex with a guy, everything was great, and then she stopped doing the stuff that is to get him to go crazy off. Now he's like, listen, you know what? Instead of me just leaving, why don't we just bring somebody to the bedroom, spice it up a little bit? And that's how the third party became about. Bro, seriously. And vice versa with men. You know, a lot of times in relationship, we fail to keep up the same standards, right? A lot of us. You run into a few where that could balance it out, but it's tough. It's tough to.
But that's why, to be honest with you, I feel like men, you have to, one, be able to find a way to fall in love with your significant other over and over again in different ways for different reasons, right? Because men always think like, oh, woman fell off. Niggas fall off too.
Bro, it's crazy. I was talking,
you know what I'm saying? Like, and especially,
everybody falls off, bro. Like,
yeah, especially it's worse for when men fall off, right? Because I always make this joke like, yo, you have X amount of strong erections in your lifetime. You know what I'm saying? Like a man will physically be less able to perform earlier than a woman physically. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like, even if a woman joint don't get wet no more, there's KY jelly and shit like that. There's pills and shit like that too and stuff like that. But I just feel like, yo, a man has to stay on his game more than a woman has to stay on her game. And the problem is, I feel a lot of times men feel like, oh, you know, shorty gave you a couple babies, shorty did all that stuff like that, and now all of a sudden you don't find her sexy anymore. Meanwhile, you know what I'm saying, you let yourself go too and shit like that, but you feel like, fuck it, I'm a man, I ain't gotta worry about it.
But she ain't out there valley, and it's like, I feel like that's a conversation that you gotta have where it's like, you gotta kind of keep it real, but you gotta do it in a certain way where it's like you're not really hurting somebody, because I mean, it could. Bro, everybody falls off, bro. Nobody.
Everybody falls off.
I done fell off, and that's when I had to kick myself back and give.
Everybody fall off.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, like I try to tell people, it's like, yo, just challenge yourself to see how good you will look.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Especially
like,
relationship.
Now, as a woman, it's like, yo, you fall off, you working, you dealing with the kids, and kids they move around too much. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, yo, you gotta understand, right? Female want to feel good about herself and all that. She probably don't have the time, or she probably really don't feel like it. So it's like, how you gonna get her to get where you need her to be? It's like, you probably gotta motivate them a different way. But I'm not saying it works every time though, because at the end of the day, they gotta want to do it though.
Yeah.
But it's like, I feel like on both parties, male and female, it's like if you fall off, it's like, all right, y'all had that convo, like, yo, let's pick it back up, and you get back on your bully, and it's feel me. And I feel like that'll only help benefit, because now you start to love yourself, and then you love the other person more. They start to look good, because yo, we men, bro. We like to see women in the gym doing their thing. We like to see women doing their thing. You feel me?
Yeah.
So it's like, and women like seeing dudes on top of their shit, businesses, a career job, 9 to 5, whatever we do. Yeah. Women like to see that too. So I feel like, yo, you gotta constantly be on your shit. Like, you can't really take no days off or nothing. I mean, yo, it's work, but it's like, ain't nothing in the being comfortable, bro. You feel me?
That's true.
So the last question on this topic is Jada antics a way to empower women, or is she testing Will's ego and commitment?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I think so.
Because at first I thought it was empowerment.
I think
but now
when she first started the show, it was really empowerment though.
Yeah.
Like, no bullshit.
Yeah.
But now it's on some, like, it's like you shooting now.
You know what I'm saying? But now I just feel like, you know, she's testing Will's ego
I think
and commitment.
I think she's testing Will's ego and commitment, and I think
she's trying to break him.
I think she has some dark secrets on him. The amount of moxie she has, I just don't understand it.
Yeah.
Like this year, once the August thing came out and he did the whole sit. First of all, I don't care what I'm saying. I'm not sitting down with. I'm a married man. I'm not sitting down with my wife talking about some other nigga like talking about we bad boys for life and all this playing around drinking. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, he said on the Red Table Talk, I'm gonna get you back. You know what I'm saying? You don't say no shit like that if y'all equally on some like yo everything's all good.
Nah, like,
she's like, what are you talking about? You already did whatever you did.
No, I think she's out.
He did that to rescue her image. That Red Table Talk shit when they sat down together, that wasn't for him.
Yeah,
that was for her.
But what it's doing is ruining his. It's not ruining his career because Will Smith is still Will Smith. But what I'm saying is, you're putting him in a bad light. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Everybody got dark secrets or whatever too in their relationship, whatever you want to do and expose. Don't expose them to me.
You saying some new shit about me, like yo, chill.
Like it's not even. It's to the point where you like. You're embarrassing me on a constant basis now. What are we doing?
In the media every day, like
you know what I'm saying. So I think it's more. At first, I thought she was coming out and doing the Red Table to empower women. Now it seems like it's just like a regular talk show, like just drama. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. It's no different. It's no different. It's no different from the everyday love and the hip hop joint. It's just you just get two people. Real talk. That's how she's moving right now. You basically talking about he's doing this, he's doing that, and then you saying like. She basically says she's not into her husband right now because he's 50.
So I want, but she's 52, right? So
that's what I'm saying. Like she's saying, yo.
But you know what? I mean, people move like that when they feel like they can do better, though.
Yeah, but don't she? You know, August thrilled it out.
Listen. I ain't gonna. I'm gonna keep it.
He out here moving them hips.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you.
Yeah.
And it's let's keep it equity. Can Jada do better than Will? Maybe.
I think better in the sense like not financially. I feel like
but that's the whole package though.
What would serve her? Because you understand, bro. Like money ain't really the issue when it comes down to energy and what makes you feel good about yourself.
When you live in the public eye, it's all about how people see you in the public. Yeah. She leave Will and get whoever the fuck you want to give her. Mm-hmm. She's gonna look crazy for the rest of her life. Like who's really? Let's think about it. Like when Kanye and Kim breaks up, like officially, because this what's in there like Kim started dating Pete Davidson, that little funny looking dude from
SNL.
Yeah. Like
I don't be knowing none.
Think about it. It's just like who she's gonna find somebody else who rocks with her and stuff like that. But everybody she rock with, everyone's just gonna be like. That's not Kanye. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but you gotta understand, bro. She done been in like 3-4 marriages already.
Yeah.
Kanye been in one and he looked like the bad guy. You feel me?
Yeah. No, but
obviously, she might be the problem, but that's not a combo that they want to have. Though.
Yeah, but my thing about it is just like, for instance, if Will moves on from Jada, there's a plethora of women that Will can move on from Jada. The way that Jada's coming off, and the world's just gonna be like they're happy for Will.
No, that's a fact though.
But who is Jada gonna move on from Will that the world's gonna be happy for Jada? Nobody.
It ain't nobody.
You got it. Idris Elba got to break up with his joint, and then people probably be like,
"No,
but the world ain't gonna be happy.
It ain't gonna be.
The world. It don't even matter at the end of the day with the world thing.
Yeah, but when you live your life, especially since she started that Red Table Talk shit, since she started that, the world's always gonna be in her business for the rest of her life.
Table Talk, and she talking with that Moxie. She'll find a nigga that do oil, that got that oil money. Yeah, that's what that's the only way. Listen. Any other standard? Yeah, that's where the bag is different.
But
them oil dudes be pissing on women, having them stay in the closet. They be doing all kind of crazy shit to them.
Not even them per se, but just somebody with a bigger bag.
Yeah, like
that's the only way to.
You gotta understand that.
She could date a billionaire dude and stuff like that, but it's.
I mean, Rihanna was dating a
part of Jada brand now. It is just being this whole enlightened speaking stuff like who is she going to get? That's going to continue her brand without her looking crazy.
Like I said, do with oil. They do with oil money. Because at the end of the day,
she may be happy financially, but that oil money person's going to disappear her.
Money is cool.
Yeah.
It's cute. But you got to understand, bro. It's like people really want to feel a certain way that they haven't gotten a chance to feel with somebody else. So it's like, bro, this dude probably ain't even making money like Will, but he make me feel good. And it's like, I feel like this whole 2022 is really going to be about what serves you and what make you feel happy and whole about yourself. Because it's like like yeah, finance is finance. Like you got bills and all that, but it's like yo, if you fuck with somebody differently, where the energy is just real, I feel like people are now taking heed to that. Feel me? Because like your life is short.
Yeah.
So it's like Jada probably on some. She probably got a little death wish going on right now, where she just going for Will all the time. Cause she be.
Because this, the last thing I'm gonna say on this, then we'll move on to a more serious topic. Is like somebody, like you know how everybody gotta have like the OG in their life. Well, Jada need an OG. I don't like. I thought her mom would be the OG, but her mom ain't OG in her.
But you can't OG.
I don't care. Anybody say Jada need an OG in her life.
You can't OG. You can't OG. You can't OG somebody when the person got more money than you, right? A lot. Real talk. A lot of times is what happens is when you got the bag, you become a doja. It's a lot of old heads. They run around younger people because that's the finance. That's the go-to. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? Nobody. Who's gonna tell Kanye West what to do? And he got OGs, but they still want to be around the money and stuff. So you just let them run wild.
Kanye's a whole nother.
That's what I'm saying though. Like, Jada mom is the OG, but she's not really, you know what I'm saying? She don't really got a voice like that.
Right. So let's move on to this next topic, and it's a more serious topic, and dealing with where you guys, you know what I'm saying, working, it kind of helps with this conversation. The justice system, is it broken or is it working the way that it was designed, right? Because every time we have like the Kyle Rittenhouse situation, right? Like he gets away. He gets away with basically murdering these people, saying it's self-defense, things of that nature. There was a black dude who kicked him to stop him from shooting people. He's been charged with assault, you know what I'm saying? And they're saying he's going to get, convicted for the assault of stopping Kyle Rittenhouse. Meanwhile, he was shooting people and stuff like that, and he's getting off no charges, you know what I'm saying? Wow. And we know there's countless cases where it's just like, George Zimmerman, you know what I'm saying? These rogue dudes who they get found to be like victims when they're the victimizers, right? And then even in Florida, if we stay in Florida South, there was a woman who got sentenced 20 years for shooting warning shots because her ex-partner was attacking her and she was trying to get him off of her. So she shot shots in the air and she was sentenced for 20 years for that. Meanwhile, Rittenhouse gets to cross state lines,
He had an agenda.
It was a predetermined agenda. He had a gun that, he wasn't old enough to be.
Was it an AR?
AR-15. He's not old enough to purchase. He's not supposed to be in possession of. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, the question is, right, because we continue to get upset by the justice system, but the justice system, it's still working the way that they decided it for it to work. It's justice system is not designed. You understand? When this country started, people of color were not part of the Constitution. We were possessions. You know what I'm saying? There's still the language that African slaves are 3/5 of a person. It wasn't removed from the Constitution. They made amendments, right? So that stuff is still there, but then they changed the language later on to make add-ons. But it's not like they went back and removed that stuff. So you can still read that shit in the Constitution. Yeah. It's not like it's been removed. It's been they add amendments to it.
It's kind of not deemed.
So I say that to say this: the justice system is working the way that they want it to work. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like if I didn't, and my boy who's a cop, he's a white cop. He always sends me shit like I'm not gonna sit there and tell you I wasted my energy watching every moment of the trial because I knew the gig was on. I knew it was gonna be some bullshit.
Crazy.
So when the charge came in and said, I was just like, I'm just more upset like it's the blatant craziness of it, right? Because it's just like for him to not get charged with anything, it's crazy to me.
Not even probation. It's but you gotta understand. That's why I tell people, you can't look at stuff like that and think that things are gonna change. You gotta handle yourself and be professional at all times in the work environment. There's certain stuff as being a black person you just cannot do. regardless of what. It don't matter, you know. And
be
then
on your game at all times
you gotta
because-
know, you gotta be prepared for the worst at all time. Like even watching it,
But
even
how is that fair?
No,
though?
it's
Because
not.
now
It's
our
not.
back is always against the wall.
It's
That's,
not-
that's where the anger. That's where
It's
the real
not
anger and
fair.
aggression
That
comes
man,
from.
that little boy got on TV and started crying.
But
right?
he did the cry, and then he did the. Did you see me cry? Look, you know what I'm saying? That was the bullshit. He's like, did y'all see that?
Hold on.
It's
Hold on.
terrible,
Hold on.
yo.
Yo, listen. I when I seen it, I was like, I seen the memes and everything going around. But when that man,
this ain't gonna fly.
when he got on TV and started crying, I automatically know that his lawyer was gonna say he needs to go. He needs some psychological help, and they was gonna hit him with. They didn't even have to do that. He was gonna hit him with something. They didn't even have to do that. But he started
He's like, yo,
crying
we
and
gonna
all
take a
that,
break. Look,
and
the
all
judge said we
that.
gonna take a little break and all
And
that.
it was like, why have it? So it was a form of disrespect. He killed people.
So the crazy
He
crazy
killed
thing
people
about
in
it
no
was
time.
the judge was laughing and joking with him during the fucking trial.
They gave him no time, and then there was somebody posted on social media. There was a lady that got 20 years for warning shots.
Yeah, that's what I was just talking about. That's what I was just talking about.
20 years for warning shots, and this person doesn't even get probation.
This is my thing, right?
And
Because-
listen, nobody wants. Listen, I don't want to see nobody go to jail, but the justice system and stuff is you got to be prepared for the worst.
So this
when
is,
you're a minority.
this is the shit that kills me, right? Because and my cop friend, like, the good dude, so I always talk to him, and when you make these kind of opinions and have these thoughts, you can't always just talk to people who look like you, right? Because then you don't get to see the broad spectrum of things, right? Like if you grow up in the hood and only talk to the dude you grew up in the hood and stuff like that, you don't know how to deal with corporate America. You don't know how to deal with middle America, right? Because your experiences are only from dudes who look like you, who see things. So I always like to talk to people
solely based
who
on that environment.
completely opposite from me to see what they're saying. And my thing about it is sometimes you hear the arguments and like that's bullshit because dude, first of all, like it wasn't his responsibility to cross state lines and play police officer.
He made it his business.
Yeah, it is
but
duty.
no one's saying anything about that, right? Think about it.
Badge on, like,
Think about it. It's just like you respond to a situation that's going on, right? There's something called there's a difference between homicide and premeditated murder, right?
Yeah,
Homicide means something happened and someone results in a death. Premeditated murder is when you sat out there, you wrote out a game plan, you addressed the situation, and the person died. That was premeditated. My thing about it is, you have no law enforcement connection. Like, you're not
no peace officer status, no nothing.
Nothing. You come across state lines with guns that you wasn't old enough to buy, so you had someone buy the guns for you and give it to you.
That don't sound crazy.
You're going to police and protect neighborhoods that you don't live in. All of this shit is premeditated.
Mentally, it's like, bro, what type of time you on though? Like, go play a game or something.
And you go into a Black Lives Matter protest.
Bro,
So all of this to me is just like, and Stephen A. Smith said, you know what? Whenever these things happen, he's disappointed on the outcome, but he's more disappointed on how the prosecution handled it and things of that nature. My thing about it is just it more shows that the justice system is rigged for certain people to walk through certain things,
Of
right?
course, 100%.
And then you know what
It's
bothers
like, even
me?
talking about it, it's like,
You know what bothers me when I have these conversations with other people? They always say, well, OJ got off. My G! That's when you know the conversation's bullshit.
Yeah, I
when
ain't
someone
totally
bring OJ, that's the time we on? Forget that OJ was almost 30 years ago, but that's the...
they feel like, yo, listen, we gave y'all that.
People from
We gave y'all OJ.
people who aren't minorities always bring up OJ as just to say the world is fair because OJ got off.
But listen, at the end of the day, like, you know, the system is definitely unfair. But if that was a minority person, if that was a black person, they would have been talking about death sentence.
First of all,
They would have talked about death sentence. If he killed two white people, he injured somebody with a bomb. it wouldn't even been a
Even if
fair
you just
trial.
injured them and not
They would
killed
have
them.
they would have speed that trial up.
First
a
of
little
all,
bit faster.
how many young black men are crossing state lines with an AR-15 walking around in neighborhoods, and they're not gonna get shot by the cops themselves?
I ain't gonna lie, it's crazy, bro. We don't even really move like that, and we still be getting booked. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the question really on this topic is, Kyle Rittenhouse getting off the way that he did, is the justice system broken, or is it working the way that they want it to? Like,
It's working the way they wanted to.
and my thing about it is just like, what else? And people always say, oh, justice is supposed to be blind, but it just, so many examples of how people of non-color are treated and processed through the system. It's crazy. Not only that, he had strangers pour millions of dollars into his defense. So he was gonna get the top lawyers, things of that nature.
GoFundMe?
He's
Is
not
he
from
there?
yeah. He's not from
GoFundMe
money.
probably went crazy though.
Yeah, he's not from money, but it's just like, the majority gets to see him as like this hero. My thing about it is when you let people like him off,
bro.
what do you tell the next person who decides that they want to do this shit? Don't worry,
Like,
there's
you gonna be
precedents
alright.
for you to
Yeah,
get
you gonna
off.
be alright.
It's we live in some scary times, and you can't honestly with the justice system. You gotta take what you want to take out of it. You can't feed into it too much because it could destroy your whole life.
It's crazy. Like I was
Because
saying,
you might really think like, even when I have conversations with some, not to be like, say this, but even when I have some conversations with some of my black friends that never been discriminated against, whatever, so they really think that they're like, oh, this doesn't happen to me. This never happened to me, whatever. So boom. And when the situation listen, it is a lot of get out going on. But when the situation presents itself and you get into that situation and you try to figure out, it's like Carlton said. No, if I have, you remember the Will Smith episode when they got stopped by the cops because Carlton and Will had the lawyer's car and Carlton was taking the car over.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then Carlton was confused that why they got arrested and went to jail, and Uncle Phil came in there, went crazy. Mm-hmm. He didn't understand the dynamics. He understand what was going on. But that's how some people think, like, oh, it never happened to me, so
yeah,
you understand what I'm saying?
Like OJ said, I'm not black, I'm OJ. Like some people really had that mentality.
So you really can't have that mindset when it comes to justice, especially when you're a minority, because every day you walk out, something can happen to you. You just got to be prepared, and you got to tell yourself, you know what? This is not a personal attack. I'm trying to go home today. Yeah. That's how you got to look at it now. You can't be like, I can't live this person. I'm trying to go home today. That's a whole nother conversation.
It's like, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Just you a few minutes from the crib, leave it alone.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna lie, in the back of your head, you like, yo, I'm pussy. Nah, but it's like, yo, bro, you got kids.
What?
You got to get home. That's why
it's like being gangster is like you gotta leave that alone now. Like
it's just a lot of things with the justice system is never gonna be fair, but you also gotta take it as this, what you call it. Don't go too far ahead to think you could change it by taking action.
Like my responsibility is to get home to my wife, get home to my family. And, I always talk about these political issues. I always try to bring the conversation for us to discuss it. But I also know my primary objective is to get home. So when I do go to protest, the limited time that I go to protest, I do everything by the card. I'm not going to be the wild card who tries to push the police officer because I'm upset. Because I can have a white counterpart who do the same thing, and they may get hit with a billy club, and I'm going to get shot. Same action. So I can't afford to I'm not going to get a do-over. It's like those memes you see where they tell you to do crazy stuff, and then the person wakes up in heaven.
I seen a video last.
You know what I'm saying?
Seen a video last year where a guy, you know what I'm saying, he was just doing the most, and the police was like moving to like scare you with him.
Yeah.
Black dude, you already know they gonna put him down easily. Like, so like you just gotta move different though. You know what I'm saying?
The justice system is
designed how they want it.
It's designed how you want it to be, but you can't look into it too much.
Your boy Tony the Closer, right?
Yeah.
The real estate dude you follow. He just posted up a video this past week. He with his mom, he jumped out the Lambo, cops put him on the ground and say, don't move, we just got to make sure everything's legal. What do you mean? What do you mean? Like, in the video, and then I sent it to my cop friend. He's just like, oh, I need to see more of the video. You always send these part clips. The cop, this guy has money. He's a millionaire. He has money, stuff like that.
Being said though, like,
he's literally on the ground. He's not moving. He tells his mom, don't worry about it. His mom's like, no. The cop says, you could film, but you need to step away. She's like, no, that's my son. I'm not going anywhere. He didn't do anything. And the cop says like, oh, calm down. I just got to make sure everything's legal. What do you mean?
Crazy.
What do you like? He's not saying, "Oh, your son did a legal turn and shit like that." He just says, "I got to make sure everything is legal." Like this Lambo he just jumped out of is his.
Yeah, but I mean, also, it's like,
how do you have the permission and the right to do shit like that?
Yeah, because they don't think that we're capable.
My thing is, in this day and age, not to even be stereotypical. You see the rappers, you see the ball players. You know there's people out there who got the bag. I'd rather you stereotype him and say, you must be a rapper, you must be in the NFL, than just to say that it's illegal.
Crazy, bro, we kind of put ourselves in those situations too, bro, in a certain sense. Like
we will buy that shit before we could really afford it. So my thing about it is, think about that shit. How many times is the shit really stolen? We'll be poor paying for that Beamer that I ate and shit like that.
That's a fact.
I'd rather would think somebody else is scheming than us. We may not have a fucking address to say we own, but that car would be ours.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So what really justifies that?
You like with this whole case and like I had to look back at it and I had to ask you more questions about it before even talking about it. But I'm so bummed. But it didn't surprise me at all. I thought he was gonna get probation or they was gonna hit him with the whole mental institute. He might have to go to a psych ward or see therapy for like some kind of program. The fact that he got off scot-free, I said, you know what? We living in some scary times, bro. It ain't like, listen, what I'm trying to tell you is, if you're a minority and you get what you call it, and you dealing with law enforcement and that kind of extent, or with the justice system period, just play ball, man. Don't try to do anything incredible for that day because you might not make it back to your loved ones, or you might be crucified something extreme. Mm-hmm. How many black people has been made example out of for stuff they didn't even do? Yeah. 30 years, 40 years, 15 years. What you call it? You know, a lot of ball players, sometimes they run into a white chick, you did them dirty, and next thing you know, that person get 15. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times that happens all the time. You gotta be careful.
But my problem is what makes it tough is like society doesn't allow us to change. It doesn't allow us to evolve because it's like the same people who grew up racist and grew up in racist situations. Like,
still allowed to be that.
They're still the decision makers. They're still up. Like, how many times you ever see these trials? You go as this young, promising African-American, Latino, Asian, whatever minority judge. No, it's always an old white dude in his 60s, 70s who's the judge on these cases.
Word.
Yeah.
Word, though.
When was the last controversial case you saw it was like even a prominent woman? It's usually an old white dude in his 60s, early 70s.
Yeah.
Who's just like, yo, he don't care if his decision controversial. He's retiring after this case. After this case, he's gonna be golfing for the rest of his life.
But another thing with the justice system, when it comes to like high profile cases like that, a lot of times they be in cahoots. They already know. Mm-hmm. They already got it set. They're like
anybody who's listening, go back and watch some of the clips. The judge is literally laughing and joking with him, doing giggly stuff like that.
I saw a picture where he really just like, yo, yeah, what we looking at? Like, they all were just cooling.
Like that's his nephew. That's like one of his co-workers' sons type shit.
But you know, we living in some sad times.
Justice is supposed to be blind, but it's just like, yo, and the thing about it is people be like, oh, it was about money too. No, because this boy's poor. This boy don't have no money.
Yeah.
He's poor. I mean, he got the best lawyers because of the whole gun GoFundMe and the gun people and stuff like that, you know, through the money. He's poor.
It's just the people who funded him was probably in that same type of time. He just acted on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they like, yo, listen, I wanted to do that a couple of years ago.
But he's no different from when you see a man with a sheet on.
No, of course.
so the sheet, hold on. When you see that man when you see a man with a sheet on, right? They got money for that. They keep a stash for that. So that's
For
what
that,
I feel.
just in
Yeah,
case.
just in case, you
Home, make it
know.
home tonight.
No. The money with the sheet, they got money just in case. Like, listen, they looking at him like a brave hero.
Hell yeah.
So
crazy.
my thing is this: if that was any of us that's black in the room, what would
You're
happen
looking
to
at
us?
Dave Chappelle
Life.
like a villain, though.
Life. We probably get life in jail.
Yeah, but that's a
Just think about that.
Life
That's a
in
whole
jail.
nother topic.
Yeah,
but
that's a whole nother
that's
topic, though.
you know, because that's the whole sexuality play. Let me. Matter of fact, I'm glad you said that because this is a segue. But I need to have this conversation.
Nah, me on the other hand, I really don't care what's your preference and all that. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
no.
Like, that's
I'm
the
always
vibe.
open-minded. I'm also open-minded to the point where it's just like sometimes I get clowned like, oh, you gay on the Lord. No, I'm open-minded to the point where I believe I won't oppress some other people, oppress people, right? So,
Yeah.
so sometimes gay people feel oppressed and stuff like that. So I'll stick up for them because I feel like you should have the right to live your life however you want.
Exactly. That's how
But
you deem.
one issue you brought up with the Dave Chappelle thing that I need to voice about is my problem is when other oppressed people don't stick up for other oppressed people, right? So like the trans community and some of these communities, LGBTQ, who are being attacked, they always want people to come to their defense, but a lot of times they're not coming to the defense of other oppressed people.
Of course. I mean, but you know.
So that's where I draw the line with like the Dave Chappelle thing. Dave Chappelle, he's not sitting there, you know, making fun of like, you know, the LGBTQ and stuff like that. He's making fun of the disparity on like, how like, y'all go balls to the wall if someone offends y'all. But then it's just like, you know, if someone's offended, someone's oppressed upon, y'all turn your blind eye because it ain't me.
Yeah. I mean, that's
You gotta
usually
keep
how
that
life
same
goes when you
energy.
play the victim, though.
You got to keep
You
that
play
same
the-
energy.
when you play the
And
victim,
that's
it's
you know
usually
that's
how
the
it goes.
sidebar, but that's the issue I have with. That's why when I listen to the Dave Chappelle thing, stuff like that. First of all, comedians always make.
You gotta tell the truth, though.
Comedians are always the reflection of what's going on in society.
Yeah, of course.
They always make us sit back and say, "Yo, that's effed up," but it's true.
It's funny. You know what I'm saying?
But it's true.
We just laughing at
You know what I'm
the
saying?
truth.
And the thing about it is just like, the transgender community, the LGBTQ community, listen, for the last 20, 30 years, they have been so strong in pushing the envelope to get their rights open. But at the same token, it's like, it's like oppressed people should stick up for oppressed people. You know what I'm saying? Like straight African American, straight minorities come to the LGBTQ community, protests and stuff like that, and they be riding with them too. I need that same energy for when it's just like, African American rights are being in question.
It's tough.
I even
A lot of times, a lot of people don't keep the same energy.
and that's the problem that I do have. It's sort of like, if all oppressed, anybody being oppressed needs people to speak out for them. But we can't pick and choose where it's just like, you know what, the LGBTQ, the, transgender, like, yeah, let's keep that energy. And then when it's just like, minority being persecuted, especially black and brown, the other communities don't come and gang up for them.
We don't even gang up for ourselves.
Nah,
and shit, you know what I mean?
nah. It's just, but even like for this whole thing with the trial, and we knew the verdict before it came out. We knew the story, but
It's the
I
same
didn't go
old
too
thing.
crazy because I was like, you know what? I knew he was gonna get a light sentence. I didn't think he was gonna do jail time at all. I not one time when I seen it, I didn't think he was gonna do jail time. Once he started crying on TV and he sold it like that, whatever, too, I was like, they're not gonna give him jail time because they think
They have a picture of him with some Proud Boys throwing up the Proud Boy symbol and stuff like that, and the judge is like, "Oh, they not even allow that to be considered because there was no way he knew that they were the Proud Boys."
I mean, you
How
trial
many
all these black
excuses
men
can
off
we
gang
make?
signs
Exactly.
All the
and then
time.
You affiliate them with that gang and add more
all
years
the
to
time.
their sentence and all that because of that. But
I
I mean,
thought
we
that-
know what's going on here. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
And I think I think nowadays we don't have enough OGs to really sit these young kids down to let them know, like, yo, bro, like, don't even put yourself in a position to even.
Oh no, you
know what I'm
have
saying?
to, but it sometimes you gotta grab somebody, and it's not even about being a sucker, but you gotta sometimes you gotta OG your own man, because a lot of times you got freedom fighting riders that don't understand what's going on. Like, hold on, this ain't the time and the place for it. You understand what I'm saying? You will get clipped in a minute right now. Calm down. Relax. We listen. You can have that energy when we get back to the crib. You need to relax. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes
I always feel like-
sometimes when you even being like if you, for example, you could just be being stopped. What you call it? You could be a nice. I listen, and then this is no cocky joint. I've been stopped in different cars. I used to have Audis, all the different cars, but they had out of state plates. I used to get stopped all the time, out of state plates on different cars and stuff, whatever too. I'm not here to play hero and say why you stopped me, whatever too. I even had a cop say one time, you don't care if I check your trunk, whatever too. A cop said it to me for coming home from whatever to one time. I don't have nothing to hide. Unless they plan something. The only thing I'm looking for is to see, make sure they're playing nothing. You know what I'm saying? I don't got time. Sometimes the justice system is, you don't got time to see if you're going to fight or not. Because you don't know if it's going to work out in your favor.
I always say this, right? Because all of our siblings and stuff like that, we all drive like, foreign expensive cars or whatever. I always say this, like, if you ever hear that I get shot by the police and stuff like that, I wasn't resisting arrest. They was on one that day because my no, hear me out. And I'm letting it be known. I always say like, yo, whatever ticket they give me, I can afford to pay it.
Yeah, you can't.
It's just wasting time for me to go fight it.
You can't even play.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So to me, it's just like, I don't fight. I don't be like, oh, you stopped me because it's such and such. I say yes. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. And I keep it moving.
It's certain things that you go against the grain with. It's certain things that you shouldn't even
play with.
Like, what ticket are they going to give me that I can't afford?
And if I can't, then I'm going to have to balls up and get it. Like,
exactly.
You know
what I'm saying? So it's sort of like, I'd rather just take a suspended license than getting shot and fighting. And that's the only times, I always have issues. Is just like when you see the videos, I'm like, yo, that minority person was done wrong. But like, yo, they gave the cop too much energy that they didn't need to give the cop. Because this country's not here to protect you. This country's not here to protect you. They're not going to see you and say, you know what, this guy's a good dude. This is a good dude. This dude pays taxes and stuff like that.
Crazy, bro. You got to understand it, bro. It's like, if you a cop or whatever, it's like, in your eyes, it's like, yo, any wrong movement, it's like, I got the right away to just
to take you out.
You made me feel away.
Yeah.
I mean,
I always say this.
Just don't give that
people always give, people always, oh, you just seen it that way. I've been approached so many times by police with their hand on their gun already. And people are like, oh, they just got to be alert. But like, I've watched them approach white people and they're not even close to their hand on their gun.
Yeah, but
we listen.
It's crazy, bro.
The justice.
We know, and kind of it is on us too. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to keep doing the work. You got to understand, bro. Like, they know if we actually got together, formed these communities, like, no disrespect to Jews and all these other communities, and where they really just give life into their own. Mm-hmm. They know if we did that, bro, we kind of unstoppable. Yeah, like we're unstoppable.
Yeah.
Like, we're unstoppable if we really get together, stop all the violence. So stop all the just stuff that just don't serve us and don't put us in a situation where it'll better us. Mm. You know what I'm saying? They know if we did that, we will take over. And not even a sense of like something crazy. It's just, we'll have something that they try to oppress from us for years. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like even though there's a lot of negative going on in the world, it's a lot of positive out here too. Like, we got a lot of people that's doing their thing out there, whether it's businesses, work related,
100%,
and everything. And it's like we really don't give ourselves the credit that we should, or give the credit that we do to other people, because it's like we so focused on that goal. But if we really just did everything together, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but if we being watched all the time, who's watching them?
Of course, yeah, you're right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's typical, like, you can't give somebody 20 years for a warning shot, and then this man goes scot-free. And then I swear, I knew he wasn't going to do it. But I knew he was not going to get no time. I thought it was going to hit was the mental health card. They didn't even go that. They just like, yo,
you don't say
it's too much. We talking too much. Hey, yo,
they didn't even give that man. They didn't even give that man misdemeanors. They didn't get like he's allowed to he's allowed to tomorrow to nothing. He's allowed to go get a gun license now, be able to carry. Like, if he runs into any situation earlier, he's not considered to have any priors.
It's crazy.
It's like he has a clean slate. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
like even when he applied at jobs, even though his name is famous now, you know what I'm saying? Like, none of this shit comes up. He's a clean record. Like he's done nothing.
It's crazy.
He's not on no databases. He's not on some, like, watch him when he flies. Nothing. Completely like he did nothing wrong.
So so like I said, when you see stuff like that,
Meanwhile, you sell weed and you go to jail for like not even kingpin levels of weed, and you can't get jobs going forward.
yeah, you to better yourself.
You can't become part of the police department, corrections, anything of that nature because of this, right? Silly shit. You got caught selling Timberland to get Timberlands and a winter coat money weed and shit like that, and you get processed and you get pushed through the system and things of that nature, and your whole life is ruined. Meanwhile, this dude gets to do what he did and he walks away scot-free. And it's only because of his race, right? Because it's not like he has money. It's not like he has influence.
But like with the justice system, you just gotta, like I said, if we've been watching all the time, who's watching them? You gotta prepare yourself and tell yourself, don't put yourself in that situations where you think that okay, it's gonna work out for you. It's not gonna work out for you, especially when you're a minority. You always gotta tell yourself, listen. There's people, and what you call it, even the environment that, the setting that we work at. There's people that will never deal with inmates. Just in general, because they was already connected before.
Or people just
Just-
people period. though,
No,
like,
but I'm just saying in general, because who they know, it's all about relationships. That trial was a joke because they already knew that they was not gonna give
they
this
just
little
had
boy
to
no
do it
time.
just to say they did it. You know what I'm saying?
They knew that was gonna. If that was a kid that was black, what would it look like
Would have
for
been over the
him?
first day though.
What would it look like for him?
So
That's
let
what
me.
you gotta ask yourself.
I
You
got
can't
a
play with
two-part
people.
question to end this topic, and the first part is like, justice system is supposed to be blind. However, the sentences are never equal or similar based on your money, influence, and race. And second question is, does America ever really try you amongst a jury of your peers? Because that's supposed to be part of the due process. You get tried from a jury amongst your peers, but it's just like, it's never well balanced.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yo, like something happened in the NFL recently where I don't know the two football players. One was a quarterback. I believe it to be Aaron Rodgers. Other one I think was CeeDee Lamb. I believe they had a violation.
Yeah. CeeDee Lamb got charged $50,000 because his jersey wasn't untucked.
No, or 20. Matter of fact, something like that.
And then
And then
Aaron Rodgers
Rodgers
got $14,000 for his whole COVID violation, which is a big deal. Not even really a slap on the wrist.
So, bro, it was a substantial amount. You know what I'm saying?
But that's private organizations,
Nah,
even
bro.
in corporate America. Like some people do stuff, and because of how important the corporation sees them, it's nothing. But you do it, and now you're on probation, and you got like a red letter on your file. But it's just like even what's going to be the next bullshit that we face, and the reason why my question was based with the Ahmaud Arbery, the guy who got killed in I think it was Atlanta, running the jogging. It was Georgia somewhere and stuff like that. The jury for the guys who killed the Ahmaud Arbery, it's 12 people, 11 white people, 1 black person. All of them are in the 60s and stuff like that. It's just like,
Come on, it's
it's already rigged for us to have a next bullshit verdict in the next month or so.
I mean, I don't even try to keep up with this shit anymore.
No, it's because
It's sad, though, because-
it's not gonna. It's
Because we get killed and we don't get a chance to defend ourselves, and then people get protests and they wait for it to die down. Then they hand out the bullshit, and then they keep it moving.
Like I said,
It's honestly crazy.
not to be like nobody here is racist or anything, but you just gotta prepare yourself and know what you're dealing with. A lot of times, like I said, if they watching us, nobody's watching them. You already know the answers. What you trying to do. You got sometimes a situation you can't avoid it. Stuff just happen and you get caught up in the mix. But sometimes when you can see the headlights, you got to be like, okay, hold on, I'm good on that. You know what I'm saying? So, as minority people, when you're dealing with the justice system and when you're just dealing with America in general, we ain't got no. Just because we had Obama for 8 years, don't mean everything has changed.
Another
And,
another issue I have
and
is
I'm not trying to,
we're
shit
not
on Obama.
afforded the liberty to have a bad day.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Wait, run that back?
We're not afforded the liberty to have a bad day. I tell you why. I tell you why, right? Because
Word.
we can't give, like, we can have a shitty day from work, and then when the cops come, we gotta sober up. And I'm not saying because we was drinking. I'm just saying,
it's
like,
just like
you
gotta
gotta have
tighten
a
up.
clear mind.
course.
You
Like-
can't hesitate. You can't be like stumbling
fool.
stuff like that. You can't fool around.
Nah.
So last year during the pandemic, we're still in the pandemic. The white guy who killed all those Asian spa, I think this was another Georgia, Atlanta thing. He shot up all of those Asian spa workers and shit like that. He killed like 6 Asian people and stuff like that. The sheriff said, it seemed like the dude was having a bad day. Like, the guy's at this point, the guy's a serial killer.
Yeah, like
But you gave him
This
the
out, like,
but you gave him the respectability to say, you know what, it seemed like he was having a bad day. Meanwhile, a black kid that gets shot, and they say, well, you know what, he seemed like a shady character. He seemed like a bad dude. Like, think about it. Trayvon Martin was supposed to be this scary, crazy dude. And George Zimmerman is the one who's been arrested like every other year since he had the Trayvon Martin situation. And we, you know what I'm saying? Like, just think about that. He keeps getting arrested, keeps doing foolishness and stuff like that. And society won't let us. People always say we want equality. We want things to get better. Society won't let us get better. It won't let us grow. It won't let us graduate from these things, right? Every time you want to say that things are fair, it's proven to us that it's not. And the people in power don't care, right? Because people with money get treated, they always say, oh, it's money that's influence. Black people with money still get treated shitty.
of course.
White people who are poor as shit still get treated really well. So it's not money.
Yeah.
it's entitlement,
It's like I said, you gotta be prepared for the worst sometimes, and you can't let the justice system trick you out of putting yourself in a situation. That's what I'm gonna say about it. Cannot let the justice system trick you and put you in a situation that you can't control. Right? At the end of the day, if you're being stopped or you're being harassed or certain things are going on, whatever, too, sometimes it just happened and you being targeted. But sometimes you can avoid being targeted also. You're like, listen, man, I'm not going to play with these people. Don't play with them. You can't play. Listen, you cannot play. Listen, sometimes you want to test the water and see what's going on. But enough is enough. Seriously. And then you realize it's too late.
Yeah.
Don't play with them. You cannot play with people, especially when it comes to the justice system, because we'll never be equal. Like I said, we had Obama for 8 years and stuff. That was cool, and he did what he was doing. From the behind the scenes, he wasn't really running stuff.
What's her name? Kamala?
Yeah.
She ain't been around.
Yeah. So it's just you can't let the justice system trick you and put you in a situation where it might be the last time you have a conversation. So a lot of times when you see these trials and stuff, they're already. It's just entertainment. I look at it. It's like watching another good Netflix series. You understand? When you get into these trials and stuff, you gotta be like, yo, I'm watching a good Netflix series. You can't take it as, you can't get mad off of it. I'm not getting mad off of these trials anymore. But I just look at it like, damn. And then if you talk to people about it, especially that's not in our race and stuff, whatever, they look at it like, things went accordingly.
How they wanted.
Yeah, so you just gotta educate yourself when it comes to certain topics like that. Especially the justice system and how America is gonna treat you, because we'll never get our just due. You know what I mean? We could have 100 billionaires and this and that, whatever. They don't care. They just like, oh, he got it from entertainment. Oh, he got it from this. Oh, he was branching off with this person to get him that. Like, they always make an excuse about it. So, it's sad because
we gotta work that much harder.
It's sad because there's gonna be a black kid that runs into a situation just like this, almost very similar, and they might give him the chair.
So there was a timing discrepancy. I thought we was going to 6:30, but we supposed to be going to 6.
Okay.
So I'm gonna ask one last question, then we'll wrap up the show, and then I'll let you give a quick follow up just to letting people know what you got going on next. So the last question I'm gonna ask is the Young Dolph situation. Young Dolph, Mo 3, you know what I'm saying, Nipsey Hussle. A lot of dudes are getting killed in their own communities, right? And it seems like they was trying to do so good, you know, especially Young Dolph and Nipsey Hussle. So the question I want to ask real quick, if you guys can answer, is can we show the same love to the hood even though the hood doesn't love us back? Like, should we still be trying to go so hard for the hood even though they don't love us
you gotta
back?
move accordingly, you know what I'm saying? Like, with growth comes different things, you know what I'm saying? Different energies and entities. So it's like you kind of gotta weed out certain things, and although we're probably blind to certain things, like we gotta know what's what, you know. And some things come from the blind side. That's real unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? But it's like I feel like it's the environment you live in, where you come from. We're products of it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, no offense to the Young Dolph stuff, but you know, I fuck with him as a rapper. But you know, we talk these things up though. You feel me? We talk certain situations up. And it's kind of unfortunate that it be in your own hood, because you would think that they embrace you. Yeah. And I mean, even
but you got
situation, you got people that hate.
But you got to, yeah.
For the slightest things, like, yo, you got an Adidas hoodie.
Yeah, but you,
like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It'd be the weirdest shit ever, bro.
But you got to think about this, right? And I mess with Dolph Music, Hard Body, and what you call, and it's a very sad situation. The thing about embracing your hood is you can have respect for your hood and you could do good for the kids. But when you playing with adults, listen, I don't want to, listen, I can't come, we can't grow up in the same block, same area, and I'm a millionaire. You keep seeing me in your face and you dealing with poverty. Yeah, you're going to make it your duty. You're going to make it your duty to say, you know, I hate this man now.
Yo, I saw an interview with Mayweather
because grown-ups, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you become Nipsey Hussle, Young Dolph, you supposed to do good for your community, for the kids. Does adults that you grow up with? No, you listen. The adults you grow up with, me and you, we grew up together. I become a millionaire at school, but you keep seeing me because I'm doing all these great things for the hood. But I'm doing good things for the hood also too. You hate me. You hate me. You hate me because not just because you want that, whatever. To you, like how he made it. So you can't focus on the work though. No, I know. You looking at this, but you can't focus. You ever realize we always got this in the hood. There's always one guy to tell you 32 different things why you acquired something or somebody else acquired something and he don't got shit. Yeah. He want to tell you. He want to tell you everything under the sun that he ain't even doing. He tell you 32 different things. 32 different things of why, the only reason why he got that, because, you know, blah, blah, put him on with this and this and that. But you like, fam, what are you doing with yourself? I said, you got to deal with it. When you talk about the hood, you got to deal with the babies. Yeah.
Because we got to wrap up, I'm going to end it off saying like this. The same way that I always tell people, like, my responsibility is to get home and, like, you know, to my family, stuff like that. I feel the same thing for the hood. I want Southside to do better and stuff like that. But at the same time, I can't let Southside enemy and everything that I got planned to help the community, I can't put into play because they ended me. You know what I'm saying? So it's you want to put on for the hood, but at the same time, like you said, you got to move correctly and things. And like you really, I think a lot of times people have pride where it's just like they're millionaires and they don't want to have security in the hood because they want people to see them as someone from that hood. But guess what? Not everybody wants to see you that way. Some people see you as a walking bag. You know what I'm saying? And we don't even, I still want to hear the details about Dolph because he wasn't robbed. No, he was just killed. You know what I'm saying? It was a hit. So it's just like there's something bigger there. But that was another great show. Yo, Daquan, thank you for being a good guest. Energy. Appreciate it. Thank you. Let them know again how they could reach out to you.
My Instagram is GoodGameDA, GOOD GAME _DA. You know what I'm saying? Conducting these training sessions.
What's the next class you giving up?
I was trying to do, a Baddie Academy class, maybe in a week or so, but it's like I kind of go for the people.
Okay.
Let me know. It's like I ain't trying to do it with 2 people. I'm trying to really have a gang and we just turn up.
Okay.
But it's like, and, in the event, I'll try to do it as much as I could.
Go check out his page because you'll see a lot of his past workouts and stuff, like how he get it in, and the ladies look like they're progressing with what they're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, thank you,
so good shout out, Cliff. Give a shout out before we head out.
I just want to say, hang out with positive people, keep positive people in your life, because that's how you're gonna move forward. Because a lot of the times, it's even with the young Dolph situation, this man had millions of dollars and he gave a lot to his community, and his own people took him out. Jealousy, it's good. It's good to look at somebody and say, I want that. But then to take somebody out, that's a whole nother level. Like I said, focus on yourself and give yourself the same energy, and good things will happen for you.
Yeah. So like I said, rest in peace, young Dolph. We're at the end of 2021. I want everybody to focus their energy and attack 2022 like you don't know if there's going to be a 2023. And thanks for everybody who support Views from the Friend Zone. We out. Peace.
Views.
It's the views, the booze, the fools. For baby, mommy, and daddy, we got all the tools. Real talk, mom dropping all the new jewels. Cliff Rock, got it on lock. Open shirt, need a super flirt. Greedy gut, got a strut, still no butt. It's the views from the friend zone. We celebrate like we always in the end zone. Yeah, it's the views from the friend zone.